Hello, in this lesson, I want you to solve systems of linear equalities by graphing. I want you to apply systems of linear inequalities to solve some problems. When you solve a system of inequalities by graphing, you pretty much just do what it says. We've done this before, except now we have two of them. So I'm just going to graph on my first inequality. It says y is less than 2x plus 2. So let's graph that. So I know my y-intercept is 2. I know I go up 2 and over 1, or I could go down 2 to the left 1. I notice there is no line underneath my inequality sign, so my boundary line is going to be a dashed line. Colored pencils come in handy here because it's less than. I'm going to shade below my dashed line. See if I could fill this in a tad bit faster by picking a bigger thing to shade. And so on. Okay, now let's do my second inequality. I'll switch colors here. I'll use a darker purple. And my y-intercept is -3. My slope is -1. Remember, a -1 slope means -1 over 1. So I go down 1 to the right 1, down 1 to the right 1. Notice this time I have a line underneath my inequality. So my line, my boundary line is going to be solid. And since it's greater than, I'm going to shade above my line. And my solution then is going to be the part of the graph that is both yellow and orange. So my solution is going to be right in here, because that's where they both are. When you're doing this on Alex, probably what happens is you will first graph your first inequality. That will be shaded in for you. When you put your second inequality in, you might get your solution, or you might get something that isn't your solution, so you might have to use the eraser button just to get this part, because that's the only part we want. Now let's take a look at another one here that's kind of similar, but it has different results. So I'm going to start off here again. My first inequality has a y-intercept of 1, has a slope of -3, so I go down 3 and over 1, down 3 and over 1. It has a solid boundary line. So it looks like that. I'm shading above this line, so I'll go ahead and I'll shade above the line here. And then I'll do my next inequality. That has a y-intercept of -2. It also has a slope of -3, so I'm going to go down 3 and over 1. I could also go up 3 to the left 1. And then I'll draw my boundary line here. So it goes through that point. And then we're shading below the line, so I'm going to shade below this line. And notice they don't intersect, do they? Okay, they don't intersect, so there's no solution on this. If you have parallel lines, you might get a no solution, or you might get something where like everything's a solution to both of them. So for example, let's say I've got another set of parallel lines. I'm not going to say the equations this line. Let's say I've got this set of parallel lines. And let's say both of them say shade below it. So I shade below the first one, and I shade below the second one. Well, notice everything that's shaded below the second one is a solution. So in this case, everything would be a solution to that inequality that we just graphed there.